Hello, this is Lesson 2.1, Federal Income Tax. You will need the note-taking guide for Chapter 2, a book or a copy of the charts, and a writing utensil. Please pause the video if you don't have those items. So for Chapter 2 notes, the only note I have is to what is net income. So what we talked about in Chapter 1 was gross income. All the different ways that you can make money. Now we're going to talk about once you've made your money, then there are all these deductions. So this is what we cover in Chapter 2, net pay. The amount of money you have left after your employee subtracts all the tax withholdings and personal deductions from your gross pay. Please pause the video if you need to take time to write that down. So the federal income tax. The lesson objectives is to determine the amount withheld for federal income tax. The content vocabulary. The federal income tax is money withheld by an employer from the employee's paycheck to pay federal income taxes. And your withholding allowance is the number of people an employee supports, which helps employees know how much money to withhold for federal income tax. So, federal taxes provide money to pay for federal government agencies and services. The law requires employers to withhold a certain amount of pay for federal income tax. The Internal Revenue Service provides employers with the tables that show how much money to withhold. The amount withheld depends on your income, marital status, and withholding allowances. You may claim one allowance for yourself if you are married and one allowance for your spouse. You can claim additional allowances for others you support. So, what you will need for this assignment is you need the chart. You can either find that in the Schoology. It says 2.1 chart book pages A2 to A5, or you can surely open the book, get a book, and in the back orange section, which is called the appendix, will find A2 through A5. Please pause if you still need that in front of you. So for this assignment, you will pretty much just be reading the chart. So let me explain how this chart works. At the top, you can see that it says single persons, or some of them will say married. Okay, so you want to find that. So 2 of the pages are for single, 2 of the pages are for married. At the top up here, you will see the number of withholding allowances. So if they have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., all the way up to 10. So one of the things you will need to read the chart is the number of withholding allowances. The other part is you will need to figure out how much they get paid on a weekly basis. So if they got paid let's say $158 as an example, you have to go down here and it has to be at least this much, but less than this much. They couldn't personally make one for every number, so they had groups of them. So you have 158. Okay, that would be between 155 and 160. So I would use that row. It's probably good if you get a piece of paper to help with that row. So if they weighed 199, it would be between 195 and 200. Okay, so this can be a little tricky to try to figure out the at least, but less than this amount. Then you will find it'll say withhold 1. So you'd go down and that would be like $8, okay? Or if they do 0, that'd be $15, okay? So the more holding allowances they have, the less, okay? So please look over the chart, make sure you understand how to read it. Then we're going to be doing 2 sample problems. Find the federal income tax withhold each week using the weekly payroll tables. This is where we found them. Check your answers in the back of the book. Dane Kane, a welder, is married, claims 1 allowance, and earns $390. So if you look on your chart, you are going to kind of look, first of all, married, okay? So we'll find the married pages. Then you're going to look and you're going to actually find 390 to 400. Now there'll be a 390 up here. That's not what you want. You want this row to allowances 1, okay? Then you're going to do the same for number 2. Single, claims 2. Now remember, it goes 0, 1, 2. So if you just go 2 over, you're in the wrong column. So you really have to make sure you're matching up your columns and your numbers. And they make 435.95. Okay, so pause the video, find the answers to 1 and 2. Then turn back on the video, see if you're right. If you are, then we will go on. Great. The answer for number 1 is $18. And the answer for number 2 is 31. If you got those correct, then you can go ahead and move on to the practice. It looks something like this. We're going to do 5 through 12 in the book, but there is it is also found in Schoology or on paper. So please use the examples to complete the practice. Once that is corrected, then you can take the mastery check. Have a good day.